So competition for the tablet market set to intensify this Friday as Apple rolls out its new iPad to overseas stores, and consumers get their first chance to really snap up the iPad 2 in countries including the UK. But what chance does RIM's tablet have against competition like that? Well, Gavin Byrne is senior analyst at Informa Telecoms and Media, where he specializes in mobile devices. He joins me now. Gavin, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So, RIM, like everybody else, playing catch-up with Apple.
I would agree to that to a certain extent, certainly in the short term. They've had a challenging, I'd say, year where they have lost market share in North America to companies that have been, I suppose, more consumer-friendly, more sexy with their devices. So Apple and also the various different Android vendors that are there, and they've achieved a lot of success in North America. On the plus side for RIM, they've increased their revenue, in fact, coming from outside North America, so notably the UK, but also other markets. And interestingly, they've invested during last year in two very important companies, I think, for the future of RIM. A company called QNX, which potentially brings them a new operating system, which they, in fact, will first be using on their Playbook, which will be in markets for the middle of April. But also a UI company they acquired at the end of the year, which is very innovative. And in my opinion, in the short to medium, well, the medium term, they in fact have opportunities to really improve the consumer appeal and sexiness of RIM products, not only tablets.
And you say that they're gaining revenue outside of the States, but they're losing market share in the US.
Yes.
But it doesn't, their sort of international, external US revenue doesn't seem to be enough to really boost profits.
Overall profits have increased, although it's just a question, in fact, of the smartphone market in the US is changing slightly, with consumers looking maybe for more appealing devices, which RIM hasn't yet been able to come to market with. So the challenge then, RIM has also gone from a market where it addressed really the wireless email use case, you say, then to addressing consumers through BlackBerry Messenger, but they have to push forward, reinvent themselves to a certain extent to really appeal to consumers, because the real opportunity for smartphones and for RIM is in the consumer market going forward, which they're looking to address.
And that seems to be the big advantage that Apple has over companies like Research In Motion. It's the applications.
It is applications, and it's also the brand, really, of Apple. Touching on applications, so a very interesting announcement was made yesterday by RIM in relation to the Playbook, in fact. So the Playbook is their first product which will run this QNX operating system, which is a very powerful operating system, which apparently
How does it compare to Android and the like?
It is similar kind of in its basis in the sense of using Linux. Essentially, in fact, potentially it's more powerful than Android, and it offers really a true multitasking experience. That means you can do many things at the same time. So potentially better than Android in terms of its performance. The challenge it has is applications. Okay. And touching on your applications point, the announcement that RIM made yesterday, in fact, is that the Playbook will be able to run not only the 25,000 or so BlackBerry applications which are available for the BlackBerry phones, but also the 200,000 Android applications that run that are available in the Android market.
So it's a combination of the two?
It is potentially, yes. I will need to look a bit more into that, in fact, myself, to understand the user experience of it. But on a 7-inch screen, which the Playbook itself is, it should offer, should we say, a pleasing user experience, and certainly a lot of consumers equate numbers with choice.
But is it more likely to appeal to people who already have a BlackBerry device, a Playbook?
So the Playbook itself, when it comes to market in April, which will be almost, in fact, a month after the worldwide launch, really, of the iPad 2, it will launch first in the US and Canada then, and it launches with a Wi-Fi only version. We believe, in fact, that it will appeal initially, as you say, in fact, mainly to people who already own RIM devices. And in fact, there's even a feature in the Playbook where you can use what they call BlackBerry Bridge, and you can access content that's on your RIM device and display that on, in fact, your Playbook, which is very CIO friendly from a security point of view, because the BlackBerry itself is already approved by many CIOs within companies. Looking then, in fact, at the addressable market, yes, mainly RIM customers already.
You know, great to get your thoughts on this. Thanks so much for coming in, Gavin Byrne of Informa Telecoms and Media.